Welcome back to my A plus setups. Man, we're coming out of a crazy week when like a lot of volatility, a lot of volume came into the market. You had Trump laying down these tariffs on these countries. You had NFP, so it's a lot of uncertainty in the market, a lot of blood in the markets, a lot of fear in the market. So, when we're looking at DXY, I was expecting overall for it to continue to move down. It was just a matter of if we're going to get a bigger pullback first or not. So the pullback that it gave, we can see was short lived. And then this week, it just gave us that big dump with everything that's going on. All right. So it had a big dump, but how the week ended is interesting. All right. So I'm going to be I'm seeing how this play out because going into this week, we do have CPI and PPI. So I'm expecting more volatility, more volume dealing with the DXY or these US dollar pairs. So we could see here the DXY could pull back right here. We could get a pullback. Well, it's starting to pull back, and we could possibly maybe see a retest and a continuation down. That could happen. All right. Or we could set up maybe one more drop and then maybe find support and then give us a bigger corrective move up. So I'm trying to see how things are going to play in line with the news that's coming as well. But it's interesting because how some of these dollar pairs shifted. Gold had a big number. We're going to look at some of these dollar pairs, and they had a big shift to end the week as if some dollar strength could be coming. So we're going to see how that play out and how we can look to trade in line with what price is showing us. All right. All right. So looking at GU here, we could see price had a pump through this level, but look at the big wick that it just formed here on the weekly. Strong wick rejection through that level. So that's showing a sign of price exhaustion. Price could be setting up for a move down. All right. If we look at the daily, all right, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting how these pairs shifted to end the week. Now, the daily, we got this major strong engulfing candle here on the daily. All right. So now looking at the daily and the weekly, it's both looking like we could be setting up for a bigger move down on GU here. All right. So when I'm looking at this, let's say if we look at like the 4 hour, I'm looking at this structure right here because price been finding support here, like this range level of support. All right. So what I'm looking for this coming week is I want to see either a pullback, right? Because you can see we have a strong engulfing close below this level here, below 1.3, strong psychological level. So I either want to see, maybe get like a corrective move up of that, and then maybe look to set up for that next wave down. All right, from that scenario, or if price don't want to go back there, and let's say if price just breaks this structural level support. All right. If price breaks this range of support here, then I will look for the retest. If we get a break here, I would look for a retest and look to catch the next wave down, possibly maybe down towards 1.28, maybe even lower. All right. So that's what I'm looking for on GU. Again, it's going to depend on how the dollar is going to react. But based off of price action itself, here with the daily and the weekly, it's looking like we could set up for another wave down. Man, looking at AU here, we had a crazy dump. Like, look at this daily candle. This is how you know this is fundamental influence because AU doesn't just move like this on a regular, of course. The market in general, unless it's, fundamental heavy activity, right? So this daily candle alone, I mean, is what? This dropped over 300 pips. Okay, so crazy, crazy dump. And with that type of impulse, I mean, I would expect a bigger move down. So right now, I'm going to lean towards a potential continue wave down coming, but it's just a matter of how much this wants to pull back. All right. So if I look at this, I'm looking at my next potential area of structure like this for a potential retest, like somewhere within here. All right, where this low of support or this low wick is, that was a structured low that formed demand. All right, so if we can see here on the 4 hour, we also got a break below that. All right, so what I would see is we could potentially see this pull back, maybe retest within here, or pull back some of this 4 hour break, and then look for another potential wave down. All right, that's the first area. Now, if it goes higher, then potentially to this next area of structure possibly before a continue wave. But those are the two potential areas that we can see AU react from. All right, so here on gold as well, we can also see we got a major dump to end the week. Um, and of course, we're still in a strong uptrend on gold. So these big dumps are for buying. All right, but looking at where we're at now, what price did, it had an initial dump. And on an initial dump, it came down and retested here came down to retested previous structure higher high and bounced. All right. Then after that bounce, it had an even bigger dump back down. All right. And now looking to the left, we closed below this previous structure high. All right, so we could possibly get one more wave down. So on this pullback, a potential retest, it could set up for another wave down towards this higher low support. Around there, if we do reach that level, that is a level where we could see gold potentially continue its trend or continue to pump, either there or this next level here, looking to the left, this higher low level around 29 2985-ish type area potentially as well. Could be another area where we see gold hold. All right, so I'm monitoring this level. So first, I'm still, uptrend is still what we're in on gold, but maybe a short-term sell coming up first again. So here on USDCHF, we had this major dump, breaking major structure here, also breaking this structure level here. So looking at that from that perspective, I'm still bearish on this, just like the dollar, but it's just a matter of how big does this want to pull back. We are around this major strong bottom, a strong level of demand right there. So price could react there and continue lower. But if the dollar wants to give a bigger correction up this week, then we could see USDJPY pull back higher, potentially towards a retest of this level before continuing that move down. But overall, I am still expecting a continued wave down. It's just a matter of will it happen here or will it pull back a little higher first? All right, so that's what I'm going to be watching or monitoring when it comes to USDJPY. All right, on UJ, we also got a big dump. So really starting at looking at some of these yen pairs, start with UJ here. Man, they had big dumps to the downside, and I was anticipating these moves. And we can see here it was perfect for UJ because the dollar got weak and yen strength came in heavy. So we can see here major dump here, breaking structure. If we look into the left, similar to USDCHF, we broke a major level. All right, we broke. Looking to the left, this was a strong level of demand over here. And price had this big pump. So we just technically broke below that, but now price is giving a pullback. So I'm still bearish on this. It's just from here we could see price potentially correct a bit higher first, or pull back a bit higher before continuing that wave down. So I'm still anticipating sales on UJ. But if we look at this daily, this could correct some of this first before setting up for that next wave down. GJ as well, we can see if we look at this on a weekly, big dump and strong engulfing candle. So with this strong engulfing close, for me, that's a sign that we're likely going much lower, possibly way back down towards 185 support. All right, down towards this major level of demand down there. All right, so looking at this from the daily perspective, we also see price broke down. So we came around this level of support here, these wicks down here, and we see now price is basically, it gave a rejection from there, finding some support. All right, so I'm still bearish, but it's just now, how much does this want to pull back? Even looking at this on a 4 hour, we're pulling back from this level of demand. So we could potentially see a bigger pullback, starting from here. Like if we can get like some type of corrective wave up for prices set up, corrective wave up, potentially a retest before then continuing something along the lines of that. I will be watching on GJ, but the move I really want is the bigger wave to the downside. There could be a potential short-term buy setup on this. Like if we look to the left, if price is finding firm support now to end the week, but looking to the left, this is like around here. This is a strong level of demand. So with a nice close above there, you could possibly look to take that corrective buy up. But with that, just still keeping the weekly in mind. That's a major engulfing candle on the weekly. So I do express price to continue based off of that to the downside. But that's the weekly. So this could be a potential bullish corrective week first before that continue wave down. So just keep that in mind. All right, so looking at EJ here, it didn't have as strong of a close on the weekly that GJ did, but it did give a move down. It just reacted and pumped up to end the week. So it came down to this level. I was able to catch some of this drop, but you see it's reacting from this level of demand, and it just threw that big wick there on the daily. Even if we look at the 4 hour, right, through a nice wick rejection there. So this could be setting up for a bullish corrective wave up, possibly a bullish wave up, before setting up for any more downside. All right. I'm still leaning for sell setups on the long term on these pairs, but it's just a matter of, how much this want to pull back. Because looking to the left, we can see here, this is a level of demand that price found firm support in the past. That's where price is finding support at above that level right there. All right, so with that, possibly a retest, maybe retest back towards the highs first. So I'll see how that play out. I do like GJ a bit better, to look for the sell setup, but both typically all yen pairs for the most part are going to follow each other. All right. So I hope you got value out of that. Just be patient. We got to let these setups come to us. All right. Be patient and execute. All right. So be sure to like and subscribe if you are new here. Stay tuned for more value, more videos, and let's continue to take this from a week to week basis and just see how we can catch the true directional moves week to week. All right. Y'all be blessed. See y'all next.